Good day, everyone. For this presentation, we with my co-presenters will. My name is Cedric A. Mercolita. Together with my co-presenters Sandel Denzel Villamayor, Paolo Villacorta, Michael John Estrella, we will be discussing the operating principles, component, and the design of the wind turbine, renewable energy. Now, here is a two picture of a wind farm. On the left side, we have is the Gansu Wind Farm, which is located at China. The Gansu Wind Farm is the most largest wind farm now in the world. And on the right side, we have the Burgos Wind Farm that is located at the Philippines. It is at the upper left corner of the Philippines, which is the Ilocos Norte. Next is the wind. This is the hub. So, ang hub, nandito yung rotor. Ang hub, dito rin nakakonect yung mga wind turbine blades. This humongous tubular-like shape here is what we call the turbine wind blades. Sobrang lalaki nito. And dahil sobrang laki nito, it has masyado siyang maraming complication na kailangan isolve para mapagana siya ng efficiently. And that we'll be discussing also here in this presentation. So, as you can see here in this video, this is how the wind turbine works in wind farm. Okay. Kita nyo rito, nagpapastro ngayon ng air dito sa may turbine blades. Minumove ng wind ang turbine blades. Now, this is a rotor. This is the rotor. Ngayon, ang rotor, tinatransport niya yung kinetic energy dito sa may gearbox. Ngayon, ito ang gearbox. Ngayon, ini-step up ngayon ni gearbox yan para makakuha ng more suitable and efficient power. Ngayon, dadalhin niya ngayon sa generator. Ngayon, ang generator naman ay ang magko-convert ng mechanical energy into electrical energy. Here we have the anemometer. Later, we'll be discussing what are the functions of the parts of the wind turbine. Here is the wind vane. This is the brake, the yaw mechanism, and also the yaw mechanism. Now, if we move behind the rotor, we can see the nacelle. So, this housing is the nacelle. The nacelle is the enclosure that houses most of the turbine critical internal components. Inside the nacelle are the low-speed shaft, which is this, the gearbox, the high-speed shaft, which is this, the generator, and the control system. When the blades rotates, the low-speed shaft turns and transfers torque to the gearbox. The gearbox now increases the rotational speed and significantly before passing it to the high-speed shaft. This high-speed shaft, this high-speed shaft is directly connected to the generator where the electrical energy is produced. Kaya sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, ngayon, dinadala ang generator ang nagko-convert ng kinetic energy to electrical energy. Now, the nacelle also protects those components from environmental conditions such as wind, rain, temperature variation, while allowing proper cooling and maintenance access. Now, wind turbine operating principles. To begin with, a wind turbine is a renewable energy conversion system that transforms the kinetic energy. Kagaya sinasabi ko yan, the kinetic energy of a moving air into electrical energy. Instead of using fuels, it relies entirely on wind, which makes it a clean, sustainable source of power. Source of power. when multiple wind turbines are installed together in a specific area, this setup is what we call wind farm. Wind farm. This is example of a wind farm. For your information, this is what a wind farm looks like. And also these two are wind farms. Wind farm. Wind farms allow a large scale electricity generation and are commonly connected directly to the power grid. As you can see here, it is directly connected into the power grid here and is being transmitted to the house, to our homes. Okay, mobra ko. Now, next, looking how it works. Wind turbine, wind turbine, wind turbines operate using rotor composed of aerodynamic blades. Here is the rotor. As wind flows across the blade surface, it creates an aerodynamic lift, similar to how an airplane wing generates lifts. This lift causes the rotor to rotate. The rotational motion of the rotor is transmitted through a shaft system to a generator. Inside the generator, this mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy through electromagnetic induction. So basically this picture is what a detailed wind turbine looks like. Here is the anemometer, the wind vane, the controller. This tubular part is what we call the high speed shaft. This is what inside the gearbox. This is what a slow speed shaft look like. This is the braking system. And as wind pass through this all mechanism work is to generate an energy, a renewable source of energy. Now, yaw mechanism and control system. To ensure turbines is always facing the wind, the yaw mechanism is being used. The yaw mechanism is composed of yaw drive, yaw motor, and brakes. It is located between the nacelle and the tower. So, like what I said earlier, this part is the nacelle. The nacelle is the housing of the wind turbine critical parts. Sabi rito, nasa gitna siya ng tower at nacelle, which is this part. Its function is to rotate nacelle horizontally so that the rotor faces directly to the wind. This alignment is critical for maximizing aerodynamics efficiency. The braking system also plays a safety role by limiting turbine speed during strong winds and allowing controlled shutdowns during maintenance or emergency situation. Now, let's focus on the most important component of a wind turbine, the blade. The blade is the primary energy capturing component of the system. Its main function is to convert the kinetic energy of the wind into rotational mechanical energy through aerodynamic lifts. Kanina ko pa sinasabi to. Kanina ko sinasabi to. I hope you understand it very carefully. Right? The blades are mounted on the central hub. Is this the hub? This is the blades. This is the central hub, forming at what we call rotor assembly. This hub is connected to the low-speed shaft, which rotates at the same speed as the blade, typically at relatively low rotational speed. This low-speed shaft drives the gearbox. This is the gearbox. The role of the gearbox is to increase the rotational speed or to step up to level as suitable for efficient generator operation. Once the higher speed is achieved, the generator converts the mechanical energy into electrical energy. Okay, most modern wind turbine uses a three-blade configuration. Why? There's a lot of factors and there's a lot of reason why we use three-blade configuration, and we will be discussing that later on in this presentation. So, this design provides a bit, so for your information lang, ito lang tandaan nyo, this design provides a better aerodynamic efficiency, improved balance, reduced vibration, and lower noise levels compared to other blade configuration. So meron na kayo ngayong idea ano ang purpose, bakit three blade configuration. Okay, now let's move on to the blade design. Okay, wind turbines wind turbine blades are designed to be long, elevated, in order to access higher wind speed and more consistently wind flow. Right? The longer the blades, the sweep a larger area, which allows a turbine to capture more wind energy. This is an example of a wind turbine blades. Okay. This is the blade tip, the internal reinforcement, ito yung mga reinforcement niya. Kasi a great a great wind turbine blade need a lots of fortification kasi sobrang laki niyan. Okay. This is the part where the lift is dito na. Okay. Now, however, longer blades also experience greater structural loads and require more materials. So, engineer must balance blade lengths with strength, reliability, especially the material cost on the overall economic feasibility. Okay. Most modern turbine blades are around 50 meters long. That's very, very long. While the longest blade currently in operation reach approximately 153 meters. It is such as those developed by China's Dongfang Electric Corporation or DEC. Okay, this is what it looks like. This is how long the China's Dongfang Electric Corporation, or the longest wind turbine blade currently. Okay, what are the key features of this monstrosity? Nagkakapacity lang naman siya ng 26 megawatts. That's a lot of wattage. Ang rotor diameter niya is approximately 310 meters, or let's say 1017 feet. The blade length, like what I said earlier, 153 meters or 502 feet. The hub height is around 185 meters or 607 feet. This monstrosity can generate up to 100 gigawatts per hour. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of clean energy annually average power under wind conditions, enough to power 55,000 homes in China. Pero kung meron kayo sa bahay niyo nito, mas marami. Hindi na kayo maubusan ng kuryente. Now, wind turbine parts and design, the blade design, the airfoil. So what is the airfoil? It is the cross-sectional shape of wind turbine blades. It is known as the airfoil. It plays a critical role in aerodynamic performance. Sabi ko nga kanina, meron tayong mga different kinds of blades na nakadepende sa purpose niya, sa uses niya, at sa environment niya. Now, different section of the blades use different airfoil designs depending on the distance from their hubs. These airfoils carefully shaped to control airflow and maximize aerodynamics efficiency. The primary goal of airfoil design is to create a high lift drag ratio This allows the blade to rotate efficiently, even at the lower wind speed, improving overall turbine performance. Okay, as you can see, these are the types of wind turbine blades. Okay, okay, that's it. Now, these are the different types of airfoil designs. In thick airfoil family for large blades, we have the tip region airfoil, which has 95% radius. Thick, so moderately thickened to balance aerodynamics efficiency and structural durability, particularly under the high centrifugal and bending loads. Next on the thick family, thick airfoil family, we have the 75% reuse, what we call the primary outboard airfoil, which has 75% reuse. It is designed to provide a high lift while supporting increased blade mass and fatigue loads typically of large-scale turbines. And lastly, from thick airfoil family, for large blades, we have the root region airflow, which has 40% radius. It is significantly thicker to ensure structural integrity, load transfer to the hub, and resistance to extremely bending moments. Now let's tackle the thin airfoil family from medium blades. First on our list is the tip regional airfoil, which has 95%. It is designed to maximize aerodynamic efficiency and to minimize the drag at high rotational speed. Thin profile reduce tip losses and noise generation. Next is the primary outboard airfoil, which has 75% radius. It is optimized for energy extraction. This region contributes most significantly to overall power production by maintaining high lift performance. And lastly, from the thin airfoil family for medium blades, we have the root region airfoil, which has 40% radius. It is slightly thicker than tip. As you can see, it is slightly thicker than the tip to accommodate structural loads while being still contributing to the torque generation. So that's it. That's are the different kinds of airfoil design in a wind turbine. Now, I'm going to pass you to the next presenter. Adios.
Good day, I'm Michael Jan B. Estrella from BSEE 3A. Wind turbine parts and design. First is blade aerodynamics. Wind turbine blades work by generating two aerodynamic forces, lift and drag. This is due to wind and their airfoils. Lift force is perpendicular to the airflow and is in line with the blade rotation. And drag force is in line with apparent wind direction, which is opposition of the blade motion. Drag increases in proportion to the frontal area of an object facing the wind. Ang sabi lang, ang pag-ikot ng wind turbine blades ay dahil sa dalawang forces. Ito yung lift and drag. Nangyayari ito dahil sa airfoil shape ng blades na parang pakpak ng eroplano. Ang lift ang good force dahil ito ang humahatak sa blade para umikot. Ang direction nito ay perpendicular o 90 degrees sa hangin. Kaya direkta itong nakatutulong sa blade rotation. Ang next naman ang drag. Ito yung nagsisilbing air resistance o yung force na pumipigil sa ikot dahil sumasabay ito sa direksyon ng hangin, nagiging opposition nito sa galaw ng blade. Tandaan lang natin na habang mas malapad ang frontal area o yung parteng nasa harap ng hangin, lalong lumalakas ang drag. Sa madaling salita, kailangan malakas ang lift kaysa sa drag para mabilis na umikot ang turbine at makagawa ng maraming kuryente. Ang next naman ay ang formula ng lift and drag. Makikita natin dito ang formula nito. Ang next ay another thing that the airfoil is able to bring is for the blade to attain difference in pressure on both sides, the most curved side, or we say the curved convex side generate low air pressure while high pressure air pushes on the less curved side, or we may say the side with slightly concave part. This is actually the reason for the blade rotation. Dahil sa airfoil shape na nahati ang hangin at nagkakaroon ng magkaibang pressure sa dalawang side ng blade. Ang convex side, yung kurbadong bahagi, ay gumagawa ng low pressure, kaya parang hinihigop nito ang blade. Sa kabila naman, ang concave side, yung mas patag, ay may high pressure, kaya tinutulak nito ang blade. Ang pressure difference na ito ay may humihila at may tumutulak. Ang tunay na dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng rotation o pag-ikot ang turbine. Next is wind orientation. Here is now the question. Based on the figure illustrating the optimum angle of attack, which part of the blade is the leading edge and trailing edge, front and back? Ang leading edge, ang harap o pabilog ng nguso ng blade. Ito ang unang tumatama sa hangin. Ang trailing edge naman, ang likod o matulis na buntot ng blade. Dito lumalabas ang hangin. Front, ito yung part na sumasalubong sa hangin o yung high pressure. Karaniwang itong mas patag. Back, ang side na ito ay yung nakatalikod sa hangin. Yung nagano ng low pressure. Ito yung kurbada o matambok na bahagi. Rotation. Question, what will be the rotation of the blade? It is push to the side that has more curve or push to the side that has less curve. Ang blade ay tinutulak papunta sa may side na may more curve or yung sa convex side. Ito yung reason. Ang ikot ay laging papunta sa may side na kurbada or yung mas more curve. Dahil ang side na less curve ay may high pressure na malakas pumipilit o tumutulak sa blade. Ang hangin ay laging gumagalaw mula sa high pressure or sa less curve papunta sa low pressure. In addition to its curved design, twisted and tapered, blades further enhance its aerodynamics with the combined effect of twisting and tapering the blade along its length, improve the angle of attack, increasing speed, efficiency, and lift while reducing drag. Bukod sa pagiging kurbada, ang blade ay twisted or yung pinilipit at tapered yung paliit na dulo. Para mas maging aerodynamic siya. Twisted design, dahil mas mabilis gumalaw ang dulo ng blade kaysa sa base nito o yung pinaka base niya, kailangang i-twist ang angulo nito para laging saktong tumatama ang hangin o yung optimum angle of attack niya sa bawat parte ng blade. Ang tapered design naman o yung pagliit ng blade papunta sa dulo ay nakakatulong para mabawasan ng drag at bigat habang sinusuguro na makukuha nito yung maximum lift niya. Next is here's now the question. Based on the previous slide, what number of blade is the best design in consideration of all the factors in construction and operation of wind turbine? Ang sagot lang dito, ang tatlong blades ang may pinakamagandang balance na sa pagitan ng lift at drag. Kapag one blade or two blades, masyadong mabilis ang kailangan nilang ikot para makagawa sila ng kuryente. Hindi tulad sa three blades na mas mabilis siyang makagawa. Kapag sobra naman sa tatlo, nagkakaroon ng Wind interference o nagugulo na ang isang blade, ang hangin gagamitin sa susunod na blade. Tsaka ang 3 blade, kumpara sa 4 o yung higit pang blade, ang 3 blade design ay mas matipid sa construction material. Tsaka hindi ito masyadong mabigat, kaya mas madali itong paikutin ng hangin. We've already know that the rear of the blade is curved more than the front. This varied shape causes a pressure differential when the air moves across the blade, which is what causes the blades to move. Because of the obstruction of the blade, air moves at a faster velocity behind the blade than in front of it. This is what sets the rotation of the blades in motion. Engineer must consider speed and drag in designing the blade to ensure the highest level of efficiency. For example, if too much drag is created by the obstruction of the blades, the power yield will be a lot lower. If not enough drag is created, the blades could move too quickly, causing them to break the sound barrier. Ang goal ng mga engineer ay hindi tanggalin ang drag, kundi i-control ito. Kailangan ng sapat na resistance para manatiling safe ang turbine, hanggang sinisiguro na mabilis pa rin ang ikot para sa maximum efficiency. Here is the rule of thumb, or the rule of thumb are, the fewer blades the better, since there will be less drag and an increase in efficiency. Next is, the number of the blades increases the torque and reduce the optimum rotation speed. Next is, having fewer blades reduce drag. Papunta naman tayo kung dito sa one blade. Because of the decrease to the drag, one blade would be the optimum number when it comes energy yield. However, one blade could cause the turbine to become unbalanced, and this is not practical choices for the stability of the turbine.
So, good day everyone. I am Mr. Paulo Villacorta from BSE 3B, and I will going to report wind turbine number of blades. Since my group members already discussed other type of blades, so I discussed two blades of wind turbine. Ano ba ang two blades sa wind turbine? Para sa karaniwang number of blades na ginagamit para sa wind turbine ay 3. We'll already know that 3 blades will balance each other to create efficient current and electricity. While two blades at first glance, two blades turbine seems like the optimal configuration for a wind turbine, perfectly balanced, and with one blade less than 3-bladed turbine, they will generate less drag. So why are all turbine made with two blades? Ang wind turbine na may two blades ay may disadvantage na magbabalance yung blade niya sa gitna, and mas not efficient yung nabubuong current or mga kuryenteng na naisusupply nito, kaya mas disadvantage kung may two blades ang gagamitin natin sa ating wind turbine. So parts of blade naman, parts and function of generators of wind turbine. First, we have blade tilting mechanism. Sa blade tilting mechanism, ito yung a sensor of coupled parts of the wind turbine which tilts the blades and guarantees of proper alignment of the blades with the relative velocity so that is positioned always at the optimum angle attack. Sa blade tilting mechanism naman, ito yung nag-a-align sa mga blades para magkaroon ng anggulo para makaikot ito ng tama and magkaroon ng tamang bilis para makapag-generate ng kuryente. So, in nacelle naman, ito yung lalagyanan ng mga parts ng wind turbine tulad ng gearbox, brakes, and etc. So, ang gearbox ay isang component na kung saan di ba may wind turbine tayo or wind blades ng wind turbine. So, umiikot yung wind blades natin na may mabilis na ikots para mapag-produce ng current or electricity. But yung gearbox, mas pinapibilis niya yung ikot or yung gearbox mismo ay umiikot ng mas mabilis kesa doon sa blades. So, mas makakapag-produce ng mas efficient and mas maraming kuryente dahil pagkayari ng gearbox, generators naman ang susunod. So, ang gearbox ay lubos na nakatulong para makapag-produce ng mas efficient na kuryente para sa atin. So, ang direct drive naman is a gearless device na kung saan direkta na yung wind blade, tapos yung generator ay connected. Kumbaga wala siyang gearbox hindi katulad nung kanina na may gear drive na kung saan ay ginagamit yung para mas mapabilis yung ikot ng wind turbine dun sa loob ng makina. Then yung direct drive naman ay ginagamit upang mas makamura and mas may advantage din to kumpara sa may gear drive. But yung mga magnets na ginagamit dito ay mas mahal and mas maraming yung kailangan nito. Sa brakes naman, it automatically activated kapag nakaramdam yung machine ng hindi maganda or hindi tamang ikot or sa machine mismo kung nasosobra na ba ng bilis yung pag-ikot nito. Kaya yung brake ay automatically nag-activate para pahintuin yung wind turbine.
So, dito naman tayo sa yaw system. So, yaw system is a sensor-based mechanism mainly composed of a yaw motor and yaw drives. So, yung primary function nito is paikutin automatically yung nacelle para yung blade ng turbine natin is nakaharap sa wind direction. The system determines the correct orientation using electronic signals from a wind vane, at yung wind vane naman is nakakabit sa likod ng nacelle so that the wind turbine can get the maximum wind power generation of wind turbine. Tower is the vertical structure that support the nacelle and the rotor assembly of a wind turbine. So yung tower daw, siya yung pinaka-suporta ng nacelle natin tsaka yung rotor. Wind speed increases as height increases because the less resistance from the ground and surroundings. For this reason, taller wind turbines are able to capture stronger and more consistent winds, which results in higher electrical power generation. So, pag mas mataas pala yung tower natin, mas tataas yung electrical power generation. Most modern wind turbine use conical tubular steel tower with typical height ranging from 75 to 110 meters, depending on the size of the blade and turbine capacity. So, the tallest wind turbine tower under development has a height of about 280 meters and is planned for installation at the wind turbine test site in Western Jutland, Denmark. Where are the best location for wind farm? The best location for wind farms are coastal areas, hilltops with smooth terrains, open plains, and mountain gaps where the wind is strong and reliable. Some wind farms are also located offshore due to higher and more constant wind speeds. What wind speed is required for a wind farm to be effective? For a wind farm to be efficient and economically viable, the site should have on average wind speed of around 25 kilometers per hour. So, dito tayo sa advantages at disadvantages ng paggamit ng wind energy. So, dito muna tayo sa advantages. Wind is free and a renewable resource. So, wind farm don't require fuel. Next is generates electricity without producing harmful waste or greenhouse gases. So, nakakagawa siya ng energy na hindi gumagamit ng greenhouse gases o yung may mga toxic na gas, nakakalason, ganun. The land around wind turbine can still be used for farming or other activities. Next is provides a reliable energy source for remote or off-grid areas. Reduce dependence on fossil fuel and helps combat climate change. So, hindi rin siya gumagamit ng mga gasolina, ganun, or kung ano man na may chemical. Talagang hangin lang, ganun. Can create local jobs in construction, maintenance, and operation of wind farm. So, yun. Dito naman tayo sa disadvantage. Wind is variable and unpredictable, changing speed throughout the day and across seasons. So, yun nga. Dahil hangin yung ginagamit natin, hindi natin alam kung kailan magbabago yung bilis or yung lakas ng hangin. Next is, the best location for wind farm are often coastal or open areas where the land can be expensive. So, yun nga. Siyempre, pagka mga ganong lugar, medyo pricey nga yung presyo nun. Wind turbine may cause minor interference with television or radio signal nearby. So, makaka-apekto din pala siya sa signal ng TV natin. So, siguro aandap-andap, ganun. Tsaka sa mga radyo na din. Noise from turbine operation can be a concern for nearby communities. So, pagka malapit ka dito sa wind farm or may wind turbine, pwede siyang maging maingay. Maingay siya, ganun. Kaya, ayan. Wind farms can impact local wildlife, including birds and bat. Oo, syempre. Nakakakon sa mga ibon yan tsaka sa mga bats. Yung mga lumilipad-lipad ba, ganun. High initial investment and installation cost for turbines and infrastructure. pinakamalalaking wind farm sa buong mundo. Una is yung Gansu Wind Farm na located sa Gansu Province na may lawak na approximately 9,000 square kilometers at installed capacity about 20,000 megawatts at may efficiency ito around 30 to 35%. At kilala din ito one of the largest wind power base in the world. Next is Alta Wind Energy Center. Located naman to sa California, United States na may area about 30 square kilometers and installed capacity approximately 1,550 megawatts at may efficiency ito around 25 to 30% and also known as the largest onshore wind farm in the United States. Next is Mupandal Wind Farm. Located to sa Tamil Nadu, India at may lawak na about 50 square kilometers and installed capacity of approximately 1,500 megawatts at efficiency around 30% and also known for strong and consistent wind conditions. Next is Hornsea Project 1. Located naman to sa North Sea, United Kingdom. At may area about 407 square kilometers and installed capacity of 1,218 megawatts. At may efficiency naman to around 45 to 50%. Also known as the world's largest offshore wind farm. Next is Markbygden Wind Farm na located in northern Sweden. And may area naman to approximately 450 square kilometers. Installed capacity naman nito is up to 4,000 megawatt at may efficiency na around 35 to 40%. Ito naman is one of the largest onshore wind project in Europe. Next is Jaisalmer Wind Park. Located naman to sa Rajasthan, India. May area naman to na about 200 square kilometers at may installed capacity approximately 1,600 and may efficiency naman to na around 28 to 32% and located in desert region with strong wind potential. Dito naman tayo sa technical comparison ng Gansu at Burgos Wind Farm. So sa Gansu Wind Farm, malawak yung scale niya, scale system. Tapos meron siyang libo-libong turbines. Tapos nakadesign siya para sa high capacity power generation or gigawatt level at long distance transmission. Tapos sa Burgos Wind Farm naman, medium scale lang. Tapos meron lang 150 megawatt installed capacity. Optimized for local grid integration and reliability. So, Gansu focus on maximum output and grid expansion, while Burgos focus on efficiency, stability, and regional power support. So, dito tayo sa grid operation ng wind turbine. Ang diagram na nagpapakita ng grid connected operation ng wind turbine, kapag tumama ang hangin sa blades, nag-generate ito ng aerodynamic lift na nagpapaikot sa rotor. Ang mechanical energy mula sa rotor ay pinapasa sa gearbox na nag-i-increase ng rotational speed para sa generator operation. Ang generator ang nagko-convert ng mechanical energy into electrical energy. Ang output power ay dumadaan sa power electronics at control system para ma-regulate ang voltage, frequency at synchronization sa electric grid. Pagkatapos nito, ang kuryente ay dinadaan sa step-up transformer para iangat ang voltage at mabawasan ang transmission losses. Sa huli, ang electrical power ay ipinapadala sa transmission lines at distributed sa mga consumers. So, yun. Yun lang.